let's get to topic number 3. New legislation in Montgomery County aimed at jump-starting what is known as gig economy, but not everyone's sold. It would allow homeowners to rent out their pools, even their home gyms. So live with us now is Talon from Moco 360, which, by the way, you probably know them as Bethesda Beat, but that's their new name now. Good to see you, Ann. Let's talk about this because I think there's a lot of questions. But first, how would this work?
Sure. Great to be here. And I just wanted to reiterate, as you mentioned, as of today, Bethesda Beat and Bethesda Magazine are officially Moco 360. So please check out our site, moco360.media. But yes, as to Councilmember Jolando's bill, the intent is to jumpstart the gig economy by, first of all, changing zoning laws to allow for short-term rentals of pools, gyms, lawns as dog parks, and then also to institute a license and fee system as well, so that homeowners who want to rent out part of their home would have to register and be on, sort of county rolls as a business or a business residence that is offering that service. So then the county would collect licensing fees, and then also would probably be better able to do some kind of enforcement if there are complaints from neighbors. So,
Ann, what I'm hearing is that this serves as a form of tax, if you will, which I'm sure could be lucrative for the county. But what about liability to a homeowner who puts out their pool there or their gym? Someone gets injured, something worse happens. Has that been discussed? And what's the fine print there?
Sure. I just looked at the ordinance, and that doesn't specifically address liability. Generally, the question of liability has to be addressed between the homeowner and then their contract with the sort of the gig economy platform that they're working with, whether that's Swimply or one of the other entities that's out there. But I would recommend that if someone is, signing up to rent someone's pool or gym, that they're reading the fine print.
Definitely. Ann Talon with the newly rebranded Moco 360. We appreciate you coming on and telling us the latest happening in the county. So, of course, we're here in downtown Bethesda, and we sent our own Joe Claire, as well as some of our panel that is working on this story, including Stephanie Ramirez here, to kind of talk a little bit about how we feel about this endeavor. And let's start with you. You say you've been reading the ordinance. You think that there's still some areas and gray areas that need to be covered and touched up here?
I think that there are areas, for instance, it kind of sets the times that, homeowners can have these guests over. It does limit the number of guests to like 6 that are 18 or older. It's very possible that during, kind of work on the bill and on an upcoming community discussion, that there may be feedback that would shape that further.
Yeah, definitely. All right. Stephanie Ramirez are working on this story for us here at Fox 5. Steph, look, we've got apps already that are very established, like, say, Airbnb, and we have seen how they, too, have issues trying to regulate these sort of businesses, if you will. What are you hearing?
Well, it's interesting you say that because there are apps operating in the county right now, and one of them is the council member referenced when he presented his bill called Swimply. And you can go on there, type in, for example, Silver Spring, and it'll show you the homes registered in the county, in the area in Silver Spring and around that are, renting outdoor spaces like this. Now, this home is not one of them. The homeowner told me actually that they didn't really know that this was a thing. Some people do, some people don't. But I'm told, and like we've already heard, it's not legal technically because it's not regulated. And so that's what this bill seeks to do. Yeah. You mentioned the home gyms, pools, jacuzzis as well, and then also outdoor spaces for dogs to gather. I found out I have some friends that do that, and they really like it because dogs can't always go to dog parks. So that's another option for them.
And regulation's always a big point of this. But, Joe, I know you love a good hustle. Listen, people want to make some side cash there.
Say that again, Marina.
I said, I know you love a good hustle. People like to make a little extra cash every once in a while. It's not bad.
Listen, the hustle side of me loves this idea. The born in the 80s side of me, I love it. Get your money. Come swimming every Friday night at Joe's. We got food, we got drinks. But then there's the other part. I'm a dad, I'm a husband, I'm a neighbor, and I like to be a good neighbor. And I have rowdy friends, so I don't want to get kicked out of my neighborhood. So I see both sides of this thing. You understand what I'm saying? But the money-making side, oh, I love it.
Yeah, definitely.
And I rent out the pool, the workout room. You want my kitchen? Who wants to rent the kitchen? How much money you got? But this is what I went out to the people here in Bethesda, and they chimed in, and here's what they had.
All right, Joe, we're going to take that and see what the people in Bethesda are saying. Hopefully we can do that. If not, we can head to the Insta poll. But Joe, of course.
There's a bill being floated that would allow people to rent out their private pools or their home gyms in neighborhoods. How do you feel about it?
I think it works, possibly.
Would you be in favor of making some extra money from your pool?
As long as they foot the cleaning bill.
Oh,
But they can have a pool party. You know, I might not be crazy about it if they had a pool party themselves either.
I think it could be beneficial depending on who you ask.
Okay. No, you don't see. Do you see any downsides?
The insurance liability, I think, is the downside.
I think it's a terrible idea. Why not rent out your bedroom to people?
But that's Airbnb.
Yeah, but I mean, this is a bad idea. We don't want everything to be commercial. People like to live in a residential neighborhood, you know, with their neighbors. They don't want to turn everything into a hotel.
Yeah.
He was a hater. No, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. But that's what everybody had to say, Marina. I love the idea, but some people are not down with it, you know.
I mean, when you come into your, for me, I think there's a lot of liability issues. You talk about drownings, etc. Anyways, especially in the county of Montgomery, where you need lifeguards at pretty much every pool. But anyways, that's our DMV Zone Instant question of the day. Would you be annoyed with your neighbor renting out their pool or their gym? Seems like majority of you are with our sound off people. They say yes. Scan that QR code, fox5dc.com/instapoll.